Hello, this is Sunil with NJVarsity.rivals.com. I'm happy to welcome in today, Kean University football senior linebacker Dante Capozzoli. Dante, thank you so much for taking some time out to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
no problem. Congrats, Dante, on just an outstanding career at Kean University. We talked about before we came on the air that this past season was very different with the COVID-19 pandemic, and 2020 season getting shelved, and not playing too much here in the spring, but you've had some time now to think about what you were able to again accomplish on the gridiron. I mean, just I guess first and foremost, what comes to your mind, Dante?
When it comes to the COVID season?
COVID season, just your wrapping up your career there, as a Cougar there.
The first thing that comes to mind is extremely thankful, man. Seriously, I came in here as a young kid, not knowing how Division III football was, not knowing if it was going to be just a joke, kind of, because that's all you hear around is Division III is not that big, but you got some dogs in Division III, and I learned that very quick. So extremely thankful, and extremely thankful for the people I played behind, like Darren Hungerford. I was behind Darren Hungerford, two-time All-American, like Defensive Player of the Year, and that really helped me a lot. I'm thankful for my coach, Coach Garrett. He's the greatest coach that ever happened to me. Really shaped me up to be a great person, and all my coaches, like Coach Kreider and all of them.
No, it's great. Hey, considering the amount of time, how many games did you play? Was it one, or how many games did you? I had to ask you.
This season?
Yeah.
We had one scrimmage and one game. So
one game.
1.5, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all that hard work, I have to say, like, you go into your senior year, like, look, this is the year I want to, go out on a high note. And, still to your credit, named to the spring All-NJAC North Division team and a couple of your other teammates. I mean, that is just, fantastic. But, I mean, how frustrating was that, Dante, knowing that, look, I'm training, I'm putting all the hours and time here, all the energy, blood, sweat, and tears. And then, for just to get it wiped out and then only play one game. I mean, how difficult was that for you?
It was definitely very frustrating when he told us that our season was canceled. But, we learned from Coach Garrett. We learned that we can only do what we can do, what we can control. So we keep moving forward and we get ready for next year. So we looked at it as an extra practice for next year,
Yeah. I think including you, nine seniors on this team. I'm wondering, what for you guys personally, I mean, how, despite everything that went down, this past season, how special was this ride the last 4 years, Dante?
Oh my gosh. I actually live with a lot of the seniors that are here in my house.
Okay.
And they became my closest friends. They're now my best friends. So it was extremely special. And when I came from high school, I wasn't really playing with my best friends. I moved into college, and these kids that I didn't know all walks of life, from North Jersey, South Jersey, different states, whatever. They all became my best friends. Not even best friends. I'd call them family. We break down on family every day because we mean it. So it was extremely special to play with all of them.
I mean, I just want to, you talked about Coach Garrett, Coach Kreider. Just what made it unique playing for these guys, just in terms of, I mean, especially on the defensive side of the ball with the, Coach Kreider. Can you just talk about that? And of course, playing that linebacker position, Dante.
So the big thing with my coaches is family first is a big thing. It's family first, football right there, but family's first. As long as we're good as people, then they'll take us. But so Coach Kreider is the defensive mastermind. He knows everything. He could, off the back of his hand, everything. He's a great teacher. Coach G himself, huge defensive guy as well. That's his first. He was a linebacker over at the other place, Montclair. And so they're really bringing some knowledge in from college football. Kreider played at TCNJ, so he's bringing in some Division III football knowledge. And yeah, so they really teach us well.
These past 4 years, can you talk about the NJAC, how competitive it was, especially up here in North Jersey, with Montclair State, William Patterson, You talk about TCNJ. There's Rowan. I mean, there are some quality schools. You talk about. I mean, just the competition is off the charts, Dante. But what was it like? Inside, in the trenches, and going up against these guys, every single season.
So I heard about it when I was a recruit here, when I got recruited, and they were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's Division III. Like I said before, I didn't think anything of it. When I got here, I got to that first, not even first game, first practice. I was like, oh, there's some dogs here. You got some big boys.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so I'm a smaller kind of guy, 5'9", 200 pounds. So I was like, all right, I got to use my quickness. So I realized quickly that I had to use my quickness in games. And the first game that I had is when I really realized, okay, like I'm quicker than some of these guys, but there are some really good players in this conference. Every single team has really good players.
Yeah, and I want to skip over, of course, the out-of-state schools as well, Dante. I mean, Salisbury, Christopher Newport. I mean, you talk about. I mean, those schools. I mean, they really brought their A game every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Springfield, Salisbury, CNU, all these teams.
I want to go back to your junior year because I think that's where you really excelled. That's where you put up the best numbers, and then all the accolades you received. I think I think it was 87 tackles last season, but the games you had against Christopher Newport and William Patterson, and the fact that not only within the conference, I thought one of the coolest accomplishments or accolades was, being named the Sam Mills Co-Defensive Player of the Year in the NJAC, I'm sure. And then, of course, AP, Division III, All-American. I mean, can you talk about I mean, everything just seemed like it gelled that year. That you put it, that entire package together. What was it about your junior that where everything again?
I really want to first. Again, it's the coaches, and it's all the players around me too. It definitely without that D line, I wouldn't have been. I would have been nothing. We were talking about the Sean Reed, Pete Lajawa, Jamel Daniels. Without them, I would have been nothing. Clearly. They held up all those blocks and they just let me read my reads. So that's really the big key. But that team was something special. That team was really something special.
Yeah. What was it about, you talk about freshman year, and then you jumped right into your sophomore year, I think 88 tackles that year. NJAC first team defense, NJAC defensive player of the year. Just wondering, like, what, was it between your freshman and sophomore year that, really led to that, escalation, just where you were able to, increase the numbers on production on the field, Dante?
So it was really the work I put in, because I was an average player. I was good enough to get to college. I wasn't good enough to start. And so it was that spring that I realized, all right, I really have to get right. And that spring I was also, I don't tell many people this, but I'm going to bring it out now, I was also academically ineligible.
Oh, okay.
I had a really low GPA. And I had to sit there and watch my team practice during the spring and realize, like, wow, like I might not be playing anymore. Like this might be it. And that's right there. I needed that because something clicked in my mind when that happened. I talked to my parents. They were extremely disappointed. The coaches were disappointed, clearly. But since then, something clicked, and I've just been working ever since. All the jobs I do. Like that summer, I started my first manual labor job at James Haas Landscaping. He really helped me become something else. I'll tell you that much. But so it was really that spring really made me click into something. My mind completely switched. I say it every time. Coach Garrett changed my life because of that. He showed me what I needed to do and how I needed to do it.
That's wonderful. Talking, of course, guys on the high school level, but I think, just the same, pans out for the college athletes is that it's 24/7, 365, Dante. If you want to be the best that, which you have, demonstrated the last, couple of years, you have to put in the time, especially, even though the season ends, in the weight room, said on the track. Can you just talk about, some of the, what you were doing? What was your, regimen? What was your program that, said, fit you the best? You talked about, of course, working for a landscaping company. I'm sure, not only the exercise, but also, the work ethic. But can you just talk about, what you were able to implement?
Yeah, so first thing I want to hit on is many people think that it's just going to happen when you just go to weight room. Like, don't get me wrong, Coach Graff has a great schedule, a great weight room program. I love it, follow it very well. But that's not what's going to make you great. That you can't just do the bare minimum. We talk about 10, 80, 10. 10% the lower that doesn't go to the weight room, 80% that just goes to the weight room, 10% the top 10 that does more. So I think that's a huge step. So I was in the summer when they let us go and we don't have them to watch us as our babysitters, basically. I would work in the morning at, I believe, 7:00 we'd get there. I'd work all day till like 6:30 and 6:30 at night. And then around 7:15, I'd go to the gym. And then from there, I would, you have to eat right all day. I would eat right all day and then push-ups and sit-ups at night. And then I would most likely go to bed. Not a lot of time, like short-term sacrifices for everlasting glory. It's not a lot of time for your friends. So you gotta really realize what's your priorities.
I think, people fail to realize, I mean, again, of course, how physical it is, and nutrition plays an essential role. But another thing I wanted to dive into is the mental part of the game. Is that especially, I think we talk about important positions on the field. Linebacker is a perfect example. I talk about the quarterback position, Dante, but linebacker. You said you're really, said, calling the plays and, control, I mean, you have the other guys, your brothers on, field that you have to worry about as well. I wanted to ask you about that.
How it is being the middle linebacker?
Yeah, just being the guy, said, I mean, there, and being a leader as well, said these last couple of years.
It's definitely a great feeling. It's definitely, it's not hard. Like it comes natural. It's got to come natural to some people. You can't force it, but it's definitely a great feling. You got to study your playbook. That's the big thing. Film, as I didn't say it before in my daily regimen, but film is a huge thing. If you're not watching film, then you're not prepared. And you need to know what the D line's doing. You need to know what everyone's doing in front of you. Who's blocking who's getting who's blocked, and the opponent's film. So you need to make sure everyone's right. You need to be accountable for everyone. So it's a very big responsibility that I love. I absolutely love the responsibility, though.
Well said. I wanted to pivot to the school itself. If you want to just talk about, the facilities, playing, said on that football field there at Kean University. I know, of course, this past season, students, said, limited or not allowed, but just the overall administration, your athletic director, just, the overall Kean University, family, just what they, that support that you guys receive, and you personally.
Oh my gosh, we get the like greatest support ever from the athletic trainers all the way up to the athletic director. We have them; they're behind our back at all times. They'll make sure we have the best thing, the best food, the best buses, the best uniforms, the best everything. We got a hot tub, a cold tub. No, you don't go around like Division III schools and you see a hot tub, a cold tub, an underground treadmill, underwater treadmill. Underwater treadmill, and our weight room is like, it's fantastic. It looks like a Division I, Division II facility, but we have the greatest things and the greatest people around us.
You talked about difficulties with the academics. I mean, because as we know, it's about being a student athlete. And I'm wondering that balancing out the books and of course as athletics, that's no easy chore. I mean, it's so commendable what you guys are able to do. I mean, talk about Division I and II, Division III again, just as rigorous. But can you talk about like your professors and just like the academic counselors or say advisors that helped you along the way as well, Dante?
Yeah. So some professors that come to mind is Professor Enzel. He was a football coach. He's a huge help. I have him in a lot of my classes. And Professor Baxter, they're great helps. They do a lot for me. My academic advisor is actually Professor Baxter. She would drop anything for us, for any one of her students. Doesn't matter if we're a football player, regular student, a baseball player, any type of athlete. They have our support all the time. If we have to miss a practice or a class because of an away game, they completely understand. They'll send us notes. They'll send us everything. And we'll have like an extra week or so or extra class period to do what we missed. and they completely understand everything. I seriously I'm very thankful for these people, for everyone around me.
Great. That's great. I wanted to ask you, just wearing that number 52 jersey. I mean, what is it? What did it? I guess what made it so special? Being at Kean University, wearing that Cougars jersey these last couple of years, these last 4 years, Dante.
Oh my gosh, I love not only the number, just seeing Kane written across my chest is
Yeah.
huge. Look down. Coach G tells us all the time, look down, you're playing for Kane. You're not playing for yourself. You're playing for Kane. So it's huge just seeing that everyone else is wearing them. Like I said, my best friends, my brothers are around me wearing the same jersey. We're fighting for each other. It's a war out there. You can't explain anything different.
Yeah.
We're coming at each other head first, really, really fast. So it means a lot to play for Kane, and I'm glad I'm leaving a little bit of a legacy down there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, I wanted to don't want to forget about your high school playing days, James Caldwell High
Bring back
School.
4 years ago, man.
Do some googling and search for some stats, and came across, and you probably can comment on it, is that it was your final year, that 143 tackles I came across. I had to
Yeah.
ask you. I mean, those are just incredible numbers. I mean, what you were able to do there, instead of James Caldwell High School. I mean, when you think back about it, what comes to your mind, Dante?
I love Caldwell. I love everyone in Caldwell. Like I said, the coaches before, like I played for Ken Trimmer. I'm sure you've heard of him. I played for Coach Romano, Coach Todd Romano. I wasn't even a linebacker coming into high school. I was a D lineman coming into high school. So he was the first person to move me to linebacker.
Okay.
And I thank him every day. I worked with them a little bit in the fall, helped them coach a little bit, and we're very close. I have to thank Todd for a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved playing for Caldwell. Caldwell was a great time. I was playing with a lot of my good friends. We had a lot of good times, and it really helped me shape me for college.
And when it came to the recruiting process, I had to ask you, were there any other schools, and again, what made Kean University, said what made that the difference, the difference maker, that you said, look, this is the perfect fit for me, Dante.
So I was recruited by other schools, like other people, but so I went to the other schools, and Kane was like the middle of the pack, like at the time before I went on the visit. And so one of my dad's friends, his name's Nick Silverthorne, grew up or played football with Coach Garrett over at Montclair. So he told me to check it out. So I sent Coach Garrett my film. I went in for a recruiting visit, and man, his talk, I'm telling you, it got me instantly. My eyes were on him the whole time, and he was talking. I tell the recruits right now, for all the recruiting visits right now, they ask me, so what made you come here? Why here? You were pretty good. What made you come here? Coach G, man, I'm telling you, Coach G made me come here, and I say it all the time, it's the greatest decision in my life so far.
That's wonderful. I was looking at your bio, that growing up you played lacrosse and you wrestled, and I'm wondering, because there are a number of athletes that play 2 and 3 sports, and wondering how that helped you along the way, and then of course with the game of football as well. I'm sure that there were certain tendencies, certain things that from those sports you were able to apply to the game of football as well, Dante.
Yeah, so wrestling really helped because it's a physical sport. It taught you that you could go deeper than you can. Wrestling practices, you could talk to anyone that does wrestling, no matter what school. They're grueling, they're tough. So those were my first real tough practices till I got to college. So wrestling really taught me how to dig deep. I only played for 2 years, or I'm sorry, I only wrestled for 2 years. Shows how much I know. Only wrestled for 2 years, so it wasn't a huge part of my life, but it was definitely there. Lacrosse, I also played for 2 years. Lacrosse was fun. Lacrosse taught me to have fun in practice, taught me to have fun with my friends. So that was definitely a huge part of my life too.
Hey, just going back to football, what makes the game, so special for you to play? What was it? I know you played it for a long time. I'm wondering, when you really knew, look, this is my passion, this is what I want to do.
It probably wasn't until, damn, it probably had to be high school is when I really, really was like, okay, like this is, I'm like decent at this sport. Like I could do something. And it's really because like it's a team sport. It's not, you can't play without everyone doing their 111. So like that's really what made me love it. Like you need me, I need you, and we all need to do this together. So brotherhood, that's a huge part. Brotherhood is really what made me do this. If you don't have a team with chemistry, then you don't have anything. You see it in all like the bad teams, you know, no chemistry.
When it comes to, I guess whether in college or with the NFL, I'm wondering if there are any linebackers you pay particular attention to. Said especially during the season that you've looked at how the way they play the game and just certain schemes and just that you might be able to apply to your game as you did here the last 4 years.
Yeah, so the first one that I've been like all 4 years that or not more than 4 years that I've been modeling or trying to model, Sam Mills.
Yeah.
Bringing it back with Sam Mills, but he's young or small guy, 5'8", 5'9", 200 pounds, but he could play. Like he played in the NFL. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, all the above. Right now, current players, I really like to watch Blake Martinez. I'm a big Giants fan, but he's a tackling machine and he reads the ball fast. And I watch him play all the time. And he knows how his reads. He's got to get them like that, and I got to get my reads like that. That's how I do it. I know he watches as much film, and he gets 12 tackles a game in the NFL. That's absurd.
Yeah, no, definitely. Final couple I have for you is that first, don't want to forget about your family. About the support that you've received from them. Said
they're at every single game that they could come. They're watching. They put it on the big screen if they can't come. If it's all the way in Southern Virginia. Even when I was a freshman, just playing special teams, they went to every game. They did everything. I call my dad after every game. I give him a huge hug. I give my mom a hug and a kiss, and we talk. They're a huge part of my life. Like family first, always.
That's great. Any siblings?
Yes, I got two brothers. One at James Caldwell right now, and one's graduated corrections officer over at Essex County. So yeah, the other one's playing lacrosse game right now. He's super good at lacrosse.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great. Hey, final question I have for you is that, and you being a senior, and the fact that you're, I said a terrific role model for these, freshmen and sophomores. I'm wondering. When you came in, you were learning the ropes, from, the upperclassmen. Just wondering, not only what your advice would be for the guys on the team, the younger players, but then for younger kids in general who are, let's say, Pee Wee, high school, and want to aspire to be, Dante, Capozzoli, one day. I'm just wondering what your advice would be for those.
So the first thing, if you're still in school, you should definitely keep studying, man. Like I said before, school is the most important. You're a student athlete, and I learned that the hard way, but I'm glad I learned the hard way so I can preach it to other kids. I say that to all the freshmen now. You don't want to be me. You don't want to be me when I was a freshman. That's not good. You don't want to do it. But other than that, I'd say work out. Do your push-ups and sit-ups. My dad's been telling me to do push-ups and sit-ups since I was 9 years old. So don't just do the recommended amount. Do more. Do your +2. Finish, do more than what you have to do.
Great. Okay, Dante, the floor is yours. If I've left anything out, this is right here. Your time.
Oh man, I just want to thank everyone. Like you said, my family, Emilio, Pat, my brothers, Emilio, Pat, my dad, my mom, Coach G, Coach Z, Coach Goodman, Coach Kreider, all my friends. Thank you all, everyone. Seriously, you gave me tremendous support, and it's not about proving the people wrong. It's about proving the people right.
All right. Well said. Hey, Dante, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. Congratulations again on a stellar career there at
Thank you
Kean
so
University.
much.
And with upcoming graduation, and wishing you all the best moving forward.
Thank you so much, man.